So this morning session is all about the Good Practice Hub. So I'm Lou, one of the co-directors here at the Policy Place. I'll just show you how to turn on and off the Good Practice Hub, and then I'll go in and actually take you around it and show you how it works. So normally most of you will be used to this view policy screen on your policy site, and anybody with the master admin role can pop into their back end. A lot of you might have access to the back end of your site, but down here in your platform settings is where we turn on and off the Good Practice Hub. It's here. So Deb, for example, you're a chairperson on a board. It's not a bad thing for you to have access to the back end so that, you can see what's happening and everything. But down here is where we enable or disable. So at the moment, I've got it enabled. Here's the Open Practice Lab sign that appears when it's enabled. You can turn it off or on whenever you want. Do you see that just disappeared? You're not breaking anything on the Good Practice Hub when you do that. You're just stopping the link between your policy site and the Good Practice Hub. What we've done is we've set up this link to make it really easy for our users, our customers on the policy site. We want it to be very easy for you to move between the policy site and the Good Practice Hub. For all of our new users, this will be an important way of onboarding their staff to their policy site. But for people who have been with us for a while, it's a little bit different. Your staff may well be quite used to the policies, so you might be using it in a different way. But so I'll just go through that again. So what happens is in the platform settings, we can now see the Practice Lab over here, the Good Practice Hub. We can enable that. And when you enable it, you get asked what your jurisdiction is, and we're in New Zealand. And then you get asked who will be your first kind of admin. And that's the person who will see the team tab, which I'll show you in a minute. And so you can pick yourself or anybody else if you want somebody else to manage it. It'll show you the list of people on your site. So I'm just going to pick myself and put enable. And it doesn't really matter too much because once you're in the Good Practice Hub, you can make other people an admin so they can see the team tab as well. So when we enable it, we can see this Open Practice Lab here. And if we look at our view policy screen, we can also see it pops up here on your sidebar down here. And that means that when your staff click on this link, they get taken over to the Good Practice Hub. So let's try that out. We click it, we're saying we're logging in. Now I've already been here a number of times, so I didn't get the initial questions. I've seen that some of our customers have come into the Good Practice Hub site itself and just joined for free because the base product is free and anybody can join for free by getting started. And so some people have joined outside of the policy site just to see what it's like. And that's all good. So when you come through, it'll ask you a question like, do you already have an account at the Good Practice Hub? And if you have done that, then please say yes and link so that your accounts merge. Right, so once you land in the Good Practice Hub, it'll look a bit like this. And it will have a team tab over here. Now I'm just going to I'm going to drop this one down and show you one that I have pre-prepared, like a cooking class. This is the free version of your Good Practice Hub Practice Lab. So you'd land here in your Practice Lab, and that is where your Start Smart induction package will load. That's your personal induction package. Up here, you've got your profile. So one of the questions that is asked as you're coming through for the first time is, what is your role down here? your role is really important because that sets up your induction package. It's all a little bit different depending on what role you have. So Deb, you'd be the governance, other people would be the administration, the client-facing services staff, and the manager team leader. You can actually pop in here and change your role. You might go through all the administrator roles, and then you could come back here and pop back in and get some new additional free practice sessions down here. So you can see in your your practice sessions would load up. Over here is where you can download the evidence of what you've been, because I've been downloading a lot of this. It's so you can download your evidence of what you've been achieving. The actual practice itself is set up using an adaptive learning mechanism. So what it does is it moves you through some key questions that are fundamental to the topic. And then if you get it right, you whiz through quite quickly and you're basically proving that you know the concepts underpinning the policy. But if you get it wrong, I got that one right. Let's try and get a couple wrong. If you get it wrong, it gives you a little bit of learning. It's not excessive, but it gives you a little bit of learning. And then it retests you on the same concepts underpinning that question in a different way. So we'll head back to the practice lab and see this one. I've just put it on hold. So it shows like that. Now, your team, so that's your personal kind of space. Your team is over here. And what happens with the policy place is every time one of your team members clicks on that link on their policy site, they will automatically populate into your team tab. So you don't have to go and add lots of extra staff. In fact, I wouldn't add any staff if you're a customer on our site. You just let them click on and chase them up if they're not appearing. And so again, this is the free version here. So what you can see here is your team will load up and their particular personal induction package will also load up here and you'll be able to track them. So you can see here, Lou has completed her code of conduct, but she still hasn't completed these. And at any stage again, because this is set up to help you show evidence for your audits, you can download that team report and it will show the progress of your team. Now, what else can I show you? Now, so for our members as well, I'm just going to pop over to this one, which I also have prepared. For our policy site members, not only do you get your induction package up there, but you also get the monthly reviews. So when we're reviewing the policies, we're also creating a monthly review quiz that helps your staff keep in touch with the changes that might have occurred on their policy suite. So it's just a different way that your staff can engage on any of the different things. So for example, the March policy review was all about the health and safety amendments and the employment legislation amendments that occurred back around March. The April one is all about the collection of personal information and the changes to the Privacy Act. And the May one, we've introduced a slightly different style of learning. It's a coaching style. So this is a coaching scenario that talks you through, gives you a situation where the intent of the changes to the policies were around risk management, in particular in the health and safety area. So it takes you through a bit of a scenario and gets you thinking about what you might consider as you're making those changes. So these are excellent ways for staff to keep up to date. And so here we have a slightly different view, right, of this one is a pro site. So in the pro version, rather than having a series of locked, let's pop back here. Where was it? Practice lab. Rather than having some locked practice down here, in this one, you get tossed some quizzes that you might want to explore that are relevant to your role. You also see all your completed starting to populate, and you start to get some analytics about where you're doing well and where you might want to strengthen your practice. Again, you can download your proof kit here, send that through to your organisation, but also the organisation can get a bit more information on what's happening with their staff in the pro version. So the pro version shows a bit more detail in the report. It starts to show the details of how well your staff have been doing. The pro version also is where you can actually select quizzes and assign them to staff. So you might want John to particularly complete, I've been loading up John as my example, the anti-money laundering quiz. So then it pops up in there and you can track his progress on that being completed. John's not doing very well, he's way behind. But you can come in here and start to see how people are doing with the team, or you can, do a bit of selecting here, etc., etc. You also get with the pro some capability insights about how your team is going. And I've seen some of our organisations who have a lot of staff, this is starting to be really interesting information up here, where you can start to see where you might want to build some more information across your team. Down here for your policy, your monthly policy reviews, whether you're pro or free, you'll get information about who has completed the monthly policy review. And again, you can download the evidence. And so it's all geared up not only to support your staff in their understanding, to help them actually prove what they know or get a little bit of learning around where they might be weaker, but you also, it's all about providing that evidence to your auditor. Yeah, so any questions?
Could this be seen as part of the induction, that they're like modules?
Yes, absolutely. So whenever I'll pop over here to the library. So whenever your team, you get a new staff member or a new board member, because we really wanted to support our roles which were not traditionally covered well. So we really want to support our governance members and our administrators in the back room, as well as our client facing and our managers, right? So whenever your new members come on, you can load them up in the free version and they will automatically receive this free version, right? But also, as I said, for you guys who are members of the policy sites, you also get those monthly quizzes coming through so that you can, people can build their knowledge. Of course, if you go pro, there's a ton of stuff happening here, and we're building this content, and we really want this to be meaningful and helpful. I would pop over here actually and say you don't have to buy your whole organization pro. So if you see here, if you do decide to go pro, you could actually go, okay, I want to give my governance board or my managers pro, and then you can come in here. You can select a number of seats. So here I've got 5 seats and I've used 3, right? So I could toggle on or toggle off whoever I want to be pro or not. It's no problem at all.
So, oh, sorry, just another question
No,
then.
go for it. Go for it. Yep.
If we're looking that there's going to be a bit of growth, and
Yeah.
the main role for the ones coming on board are mainly in the area of field staff.
Yes.
I just heard you say again. I think I heard you
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
This is particularly because not to overwhelm them.
Yeah. Yeah.
But am I right in thinking that this particularly would be of interest to the back office admin manager type people?
Well, can you see this, Phyllis?
Yes.
We've got a different set of starter packs for the
Okay.
different roles. So
Yeah.
if you're getting on lots of service staff, as
Yeah.
in front facing, and they're working with clients,
Yeah.
they would come through and pick the client services. And you can see here
Okay.
we've got some of this is geared towards the accreditation requirements, right? So we know
Okay.
that Te Kahu requires that people are inducted on certain concepts
Okay.
like feedback and complaints, code of conduct, child protection, health and safety, fraud and corruption. Like this is the
Okay.
basic stuff that all staff need to be come in with. But we know that our administrators also need some support. So we've
Oh,
got the financial management, the fraud and corruption, the workplace health and safety, and the code of conduct there.
yeah.
We've got a bit more in there for our managers because they have to cover a wider range. And for our governance members, we've got a slightly different look as well. So
Right.
I don't think it matters how many people you're getting. These are roles that I think when we thought about what what do most organizations have, we felt like this kind of covered the
Yeah.
core, roles.
Okay.
We're pretty excited about the new coaching scenarios. It's really, I hope you guys do explore them in that practice that month because we really think they're pretty awesome, different way of learning. And they really get into the emotional pulls that we experience when we're making decisions. And so therefore they hit that coaching feel in a different way to the testing your knowledge of the quizzes. So we're going to look at building in some of those into our free Start Smart packages. Yeah. Yeah. Any other questions, team? What else can I tell you? Oh, I was going to say, you know how we clicked on that? We clicked through it from our policy site. When you're a customer of us with your policy site, you're going to get this wee link here, which will take you back into your policies. So you can go back and forwards between them very easily, if that makes sense. Okay. Does anybody else have any questions? Have I given you a sense of what's possible?
So I have a question, thanks.
Yeah.
I'm not the main administrator on our account, but is this an extra subscription that we need to pay for, or is this all part of the pro version? Is it all part of what we already have? Can you tell me?
The pro version is extra, but the free version, which includes your induction for all your staff and any new staff coming in, so anybody that's coming in, all free, and the policy reviews, all free.
Okay.
So if you want to think about upgrading and getting certain people in your organization or everybody the full practice library, then that is extra. But we hope that that's the $25 plus GST per person per year. So we've tried to make that as affordable as possible for people, but we also hope that people will find a lot of value in the free Start Smart induction kit. And this is open to any organisation, not just our policy clients, but that's why we wanted to give our policy clients that extra support with the monthly policy reviews. Cool. All right, guys. Well, if there's no more questions, I will release you to your busy days and wish you all a wonderful Friday and catch you up next time.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Oh, it's
you.
a pleasure. Ka kite anō.
Bye, Kiki.
Bye.